again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today we are going to be doing the floral lace stitch. Absolutely love this stitch. It's pretty easy. It's only a 2-row repeat, and it is perfect for this time of year. Whether you're making a wrap or a blanket or a what have you, I absolutely love this. It would even make fabulous curtains, quite frankly. So, for this particular example that I'm showing, this actually I'm going to be making into a wrap. This is Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway of, I believe, Light Jasmine. It is a worsted weight of 4, so I am using a size 6mm hook. This is, I believe, a size J, if my remembrance is correct, and absolutely love this. Now, this stitch is worked rather, shall we say, interestingly, okay? Yes, it is done back and forth in rows. However, the colorway of yarn that you use is very important. To play it safe, you could use a solid color of yarn. That way you don't have anything to worry about whatsoever. You may be inclined to be like, could I use this colorway? Well, I made up some swatches to show you what happens if you play around with different colorways of yarn. So I made up some other swatches to show you. Okay, so now here we have, this is Red Heart Super Saver in the ombre, and I thought that this could potentially be a really cool idea. So I was working along, and it has, the beginning of a color change going on, and I thought, ooh, this is nice. However, with the way that the rows work, check this out. When you look over at this edge here, this is the finishing edge. Oh, uh, oh, oh, uh-oh, nope. See, this is actually how the pattern works. Now, this is why I do what I do, because I want to show you exactly what you're getting into before you start. See, the pattern itself starts here, and you work your way across, and then up and over, and then up and over, and up and over, and so on and so forth. And then when you have reached the length of your piece, after going up and over, then you turn your work and you do the finishing edge row all the way down the length of your piece. Now, if you're using an ombre yarn, this does not work. Nope. Same thing is going to happen if you use a yarn that has blocks of color, like a cake yarn, say like Lion Brand's Mandala, or a cupcake yarn, something like that. You are going to run into the same problem. You're going to end up like with this really wonky line going down one side of your piece. Now, what I also did on top of this was I decided, well, all right, but what if you use a yarn that changes color quickly? Now, for instance, this one, the color change starts right here, and then it ends right here. It's a pretty quick color change, okay? And since we're going to be using a lot of treble crochets, that eats up yarn fairly quickly. So I thought, how would this look? So I did a swatch, and this was the finished result. Now, on the one hand, you could say, wow, that totally works, and it does. On the other hand, the colorway is really, really busy, and personally, I think it kind of takes away from the pattern of the flowers. Totally up to you. I mean, it does have the homogeny that you would go for, at least that I would go for. And so with this one, again, started with this petal here, and then worked my way across and then up and over and up and over and up and over and so on and so forth. And then the last row was this row down that way. And you can't tell the difference. Okay, it is seamless in that regard. However, like I said, it is really, really quite busy. Now, if you're cool with that, by all means, go right ahead. I just wanted to give you an idea of what happens when you use different colorways of yarn, because after spending all that time making a blanket or a what have you, and then this happens, oh, yeah, that could be a deal breaker. All right, so wanted to give you the heads up before we got into the actual video and show you with some visual aids what happens with different colorways. So, thank you for listening to my rambling, and now let's get started with the video. Alrighty. Okay, so first things first with row 1, I've got the same size hook, and for today's example, I'm going to be using, this is Lion Brand's Pound of Love I believe this is the colorway of Terracotta. Now, going to be starting with our slip knot and a chaining of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then a slip stitch to the first chain to create a ring. And then chain up 4. And that is actually going to count as our first treble crochet. Okay, yarn over twice and into the ring, another treble, yarn over twice, another treble into the ring, yarn over twice, another treble into the ring. Okay, so we've got 4. We need a total of 5, but we need to get back down to the base of the ring. So chain 4, and then slip stitch into the ring. And that's going to finish the first petal. So there we go. We have got 1 completed petal. To do petal number 2, chain up 4, and then 4 more trebles for the total of 5. So we've got the 1 treble, yarning over twice, treble into the ring, and all of our petals are going to ultimately have 5 trebles. So we've got 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, so this is the bottom half of our first flower. And I think that for today's swatch, we're going to do a total of, I think, 4 flowers wide, which would be just fine if you wanted to make a scarf. Now, for the shawl, the wrap that I showed you before in the light jasmine, that I did, it was 9 wide. So you can make this as wide or as narrow as you want to. So from here, we're going to start in our next flower. So to do that, chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Then into the 5th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the 5th chain, slip stitch. Again, to create a ring, but we need to get to this edge here. So chain 4, and then slip stitch into that fourth chain. There we go. Then I find it's easiest to just turn your work, and we're going to do some more trebles into that ring. So yarn over twice, into the ring, treble. So we have 3, yarn over twice, treble. Okay, now we need to get back to the ring. So chain 4 and slip stitch to the ring. Okay, so that's another petal done. To do the next petal, chain 4. And then we need 4 more trebles. So we got 3, we need 2 more. Okay, so at this point now we have the bottom of 2 flowers. So 2 more to go. So again, chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then again into the 5th chain, slip stitch. Almost had it. Okay, slip stitch, chain 4, then slip stitch into that 4th chain, turn your work, and then treble into the ring. Okay, another treble into the ring. Okay, and then we need to bring the stitch back down to the ring after doing 4. So chain 4, and then slip stitch into the ring. So we have our 5 trebles there. Okay, to make the second bottom petal, chain 4, and then 4 trebles into that ring. So I've got 3. And 4. And 5. Perfect. Okay, so we have the bottom of 3 flowers. So just 1 more, and we shall proceed. Okay, so just as we had done previously, we just want to do that 1 more flower. So chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then into the 5th chain, slip stitch, and then chain 4. Going and into that 4th chain, slip stitch, turn the work, And into the ring, we need another treble. And another treble. Then a chain 4 and a slip stitch. Chain 4 and slip stitch. There we go. Okay, one more petal to go. Chain 4. And then 4. Well, actually, in this case, it's going to be 3 more, and you'll see why. So we have our first, so now we've got 2. And 3. And 4. Now, like I said, for this particular swatch, it's only going to be a total of 4 wide. However, if you want to keep going, you would do your 5th treble crochet and keep going as wide as you want to. However, if this is going to be the last flower for the width of your project, you would at this point do a chaining of 4 and then slip stitch to that center ring. And that's going to be the bottom right corner of your piece. And that is actually the end of row 1. So it should look something like this. Now, if these get a little twisted and tangled and so forth, you can fix it as you go. It's really not a big deal, not to worry. And of course, you can sew in your end as well. But yeah, so this is the end of row 1. All right, row 2, we are going to be essentially finishing up this first row of flowers going in the opposite direction. And it is, in my opinion, a little bit easier. So from here, we already have 2 petals. We're going to start our 3rd petal because each one has 4 petals. So start by chaining up 4. And then treble into that ring. And we need 2 more. And then we need to get back to the center. So going to chain 4 and slip stitch. Chain 4. Also, at this point, it's good to scooch your stitches a little bit. Just shift them over a little bit to make room for the last petal. So I chained 4 and slip stitch into the center there. So that has our 5 trebles as we need them. So from here, chain 4, and then into the center ring, 4 trebles for the total of 5. So we've already got the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. From here, we're going to go directly into the opening, the center opening of the next flower. We're just going to hop right over. So yarning over twice, and then into the center of the next flower over. Going to go right in with a treble and 3 more. One more. Okay, so we've got 4. For the 5th, we are going to chain 4 and slip stitch. Okay, again, scoot your stitches over a little bit, chain up 4, and then 4 more trebles into the center ring. Almost had it. There we go. And so now this one also has our 5 trebles. Okay, let's go into the next. Yarning over twice, going into the center of the next flower. And then 3 more trebles in the same aperture. That's 2. Three. And 4. Okay, pull out a little bit more yarn as needs be. Okay, so we have the 4. Shift those stitches, chain 4, and slip stitch into the center ring. Okay, chain 4. And then we need 4 more trebles to complete this petal. All right. And we are almost done with row 2. Now, going to go into the last flower, so yarning over twice, going into there, into the center. One. Two. 3. 4, and actually do the 5th in this case. And this last 4th petal, this missing one, that we are going to cover when we do the finishing edge row, but that will come later. So right now, your piece should look something like this. Now, of course, if you wanted to do, say, an edging of some sort, a trim, a bookmark, this would be hunky-dory as is. But if you want the piece to continue to grow vertically, well, keep watching. Alrighty, so row 3 and 4 is really where the pattern has its actual repeat. Row 3 is going to be, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a bit of a beast, but we can get through it. So we left off at this point here, and this is going to seem a little bit confusing, but it will make more sense as we go on. So from here, going to chain up 9 to start a new petal right above. This one we will come to at the very end. So chain 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And as we had done previously, going to slip stitch into the 5th chain and chain 4. And then slip stitch into the 4th chain. Okay, turn your work. And then into this ring down here, treble crochet. So we have technically 3, we need 2 more. Okay, so we have a total of 5. Now, you're probably thinking, all right, where do we go from here? Well, we're going to start into yet another flower. So, chain 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, into the 5th chain, slip stitch to create a ring, chain 4, and then slip stitch again to the 4th chain, turn your work, yarning over twice, going into that ring with a treble, and one more. Okay, so we have a total of 4 trebles. Now, this is where things get a little weird, okay? Not gonna lie. Okay, so we have our piece here. Now, what we did was we... Focus, please. Focus. I want it to focus. There we go. Sorry about that. So we went across here, we came back, and then we went up, starting this one here, and then this one here. Now we're going to turn the work, flipping everything over, and this is honestly how I think it works best as far as understanding what's going on. So from here, see, this petal is going to continue remaining facing outward with this opening to the right. Okay. This one, however, is a little bit weird. Not gonna lie. So we need to join this petal down to this second flower here, and we're going to do that with a slip stitch. So in between these posts here, we've got 4 posts here, and we have our 5th one right here. In between, slip stitch right in between down here. Okay, so now it is connected. Now we have to get back up to that ring, so going to chain up 4, and then slip stitch to that ring of the petal that we were just working on. So slip stitch up to there. So now, get my tail out of the way there. So now we still have this one facing out, which is how we want it. And this second petal is now connected to the second flower. Okay. And we are back at the ring. So from here, we then have to connect down to this petal in the same fashion, but we need to get down there. So from here, going from the ring, chain 4, and then going down to the second petal of the second flower, slip stitch, again in between the post here, and then we've got 4 here. So in between these posts here, slip stitch. And then if you turn your work again, I think this works best. So this is the ring of the second flower for the second tier, yarning over twice, and then going into that ring with 4 more trebles, because that chain 4 counts as our initial treble. So we've got 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. So then when you splay it out, if it will behave, you can see that it actually works. It's sort of like a hopscotching, back, forth, and so on and so forth, but it does work. So from here, we're going to continue, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did here with this flower here. Now, yes, you could say you're going really slowly, but I want to be thorough. I want to be understood, because I know this is a little bit daunting. So that's why I'm really taking my time with you guys. So let's hop to the next flower, shall we? All right, so for the next flower, again, we're going to start just as we had. By the way, you want to make sure that each of these petals has 5 trebles. Otherwise it's going to look really wonky. So from here, I'm going to chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And then into the 5th chain, slip stitch to create a ring, chain 4, and then slip stitch into the 4th chain, okay, and going to turn my work. So into that ring, treble crochet, and treble crochet. So we've got 4. So now at this point, yes, we need to do our join again. So we have our 4, slip stitch on the next flower here, slip stitch, and then chain 4. And then we're going to go back into this petal that we're finishing up. So slip stitch into there so that it has its 5 trebles. Chain 4. And then scooch back down to the next petal of that same flower. Slip stitch. And then if you turn your work, going to go into that same ring with 4 more trebles. So we've got 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So we are approaching the end of the row. Let's keep going. So we need to start another flower base. So chain 9, 4, 5, 6. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Into the 5th chain, slip stitch, chain 4, slip stitch into that 4th chain, turn the work into the ring, 2 more trebles, so I've got 3, and 4. Okay, scooting down to the last flower in between the posts there, going to slip stitch and chain 4, slip stitch into the ring of the last petal that we were working on, chain 4, and then slip stitch to the last petal of the row. Okay, turn the work, and then into the ring of that petal, treble, so that's 2, 3, 4. Now because this is the edge, this is the last petal, we're not going further, chain 4 and slip stitch to the ring. Chain 4, slip stitch to the ring, and there you go. So your piece should look something like this. Ta-da! Also, one thing, this row, like I said, row 3 is a bit of a beast. I wasn't kidding. It is a little bit tricky. I'll be more than willing to admit to that. I would strongly suggest watch, then attempt. Don't try to attempt for the first time while watching for the first time. It can get ugly real fast. So I would suggest watch it, perhaps more than once, and then give it a go. Once you have an idea of like, oh, I'm supposed to go into there, it helps. Trust me, I speak from experience. Okay. So from here, we're going to go and double back along the top. Alrighty. All right, row 4 is going to be like a mini vacation for you. If you got through row 3, congratulations. That is the hardest part of the entire piece. Row 4 is easy street by comparison. So from here, going to chain up 4 and treble into the ring, 2 more times for a total of 4. Okay, then we need to get to the ring itself, so chain 4, and then slip stitch to the ring to finish that petal. Okay, chain 4, and then 4 more trebles for a total of 5. Okay, so we have our 5. Going to go into the next flower, but I wanted to show you that, yep, we have our 4 petals. I can't stress this enough because I've done this plenty of times where I only did 1 petal and I kept going, and then I came all the way back and I'm like, oh, dang it. So yeah, be sure to do 2 petals in this one. It can be very easy to miss, okay? I've done it myself. So from here, going into the next center with 4 trebles. So that's 3. And 4. Then chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. There we go. Chain 4. And then 4 trebles for the total of 5. Okay, 1 more. Ta-da! All right, let's do another one. Going into the center of the next flower. With 4 trebles. And then chain 4. Scooch those stitches, slip stitch to the center. Okay. Chain 4. And 4 trebles for the total of 5. Okay, 1 more. Okay. Rock on. Okay, so we have reached the end of the road. So from here, I'm going to do essentially the same thing, going into the ring of this edge petal here with a treble and 4 more for a total of 5. That's 2, 3, I think I messed that up, pardon me. There we go, and 1 more. And there you go. 2 tiers of flowers. I think it looks awesome already. All right, now because I like being thorough for you, I'm going to be doing rows 3 and 4 over again. So row 3 for the repeat. Going to start by chaining up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Into the 5th chain, slip stitch to create the ring, chain 4, slip stitch into the 4th chain, turn, and then 3 more trebles into the ring to create the 5. There we go. So we got 3, 4, and total of 5. Okay. Chain up 9 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then into the 5th chain, slip stitch to create the ring, chain 4, slip stitch into the 4th chain. Okay, then turn the work completely. So again, this ring is going to continue to face to the right into this ring, 2 more trebles, for a total of 4. And then slip stitch to the next petal, chain 4, slip stitch to the ring of the current flower into that center ring, chain 4, and then slip stitch to the petal down below, and then turning, going into our current flower, 4 more trebles into that ring. 1, 2, 3, and 4, for a total of 5 trebles. There we go. Okie doke. So we got that one done. Chain 9 for the start of a new flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Slip stitch into the 5th chain, chain 4, slip stitch into the 4th chain, turn the work into the ring, 2 more trebles, okay, so we have our 4. Going to the next flower, slip stitch, chain 4, slip stitch to our current flower center, chain 4, slip stitch to the next petal, turn, and into the center, 4 more trebles. Okay, one more. Okay, we're getting there because we're right at the end. We just need to do this last flower. Okay, so for the last flower, again, chain up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Into the 5th chain, slip stitch to create a ring, chain 4, slip stitch into the 4th chain, turn, okay, into that ring, 2 more trebles, so we've got the 3, we need 4, and then we'll join. So we've got the 4 trebles. Okay, join to the petal down below with a slip stitch, and then chain 4, and then slip stitch to the petal center. There we go. Chain 4, and then back down to the next petal, join with a slip stitch, and then turn the work entirely, and then back into the center, treble, 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 and because we're at the end, chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. And there you go. That is the end of row 3 for the repeat. Okay, so row 4 for the repeat. We still need to do these 2 petals up here, so chain 4. Again, row 4 is going to seem like a vacation by comparison. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 more trebles to go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. And chain 4, slip stitch to the center. Okay, we need 1 more petal, so chain up 4. And then 4 more trebles for the total of 5. Okay, we've got 4 and 5. Perfect. Okay, scooting right along to the next flower, right into the center. 4 trebles. Okay, one more. Okay, chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. There we go. Chain 4. And 4 more trebles for the total of 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Scooting right along to the next flower with 4 trebles. I think I messed that up. Gotta make sure you yarn over twice. There we go. Okay, then a chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. Chain 4. And 4 more trebles for the total of 5. Okay. Last, but certainly not least, going to go into that last edge petal right here. So, yarning over twice, going into that end there with trebles. So we've got 2, 3, 4. Now, because I'm going to start on the edge row, we're not going to do the 5th. Ordinarily, at the end of row 4, you would do a total of 5 trebles. However, in this case, because the next step is going to be finishing the piece, going to chain 4 and slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch. Now, this is what you would do if you are ready to finish your project. Okay, I am ready to finish my swatch. So going to end with doing the 4 and then the chain 4 and a slip stitch. So now for the finishing edge, I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so we're going to call the finishing row edge row 5. Going, consistent with the numbers. So from here, going to turn the work sideways. And so we finished this petal already and this petal already. Well, we need 2 more on top, right? So from here, chain 4. And we need 3 more trebles for a total of 4. So we've got 2 and 3 and 4. Chain 4 and slip stitch to the center. Chain 4. 4 more trebles for the total of 5. Okay, one more. Okie doke. And then scooting right along to the next flower, yarning over twice, hopping in with 4 trebles. This is very reminiscent to row 4. The end is going to be slightly different though. Okay, so we have our 4 trebles, chain 4, and then slip stitch to the center. Okay, we need another petal, so chain 4, and then 4 trebles for the total of 5. Okay, so we've got 4, one more. Perfect. Okay. Last petal. Okay. Scoot you out of the way there. Okay, so the last petal, we are going to be going into that center ring once again. So scooting right in with 4 trebles. That's 1. 2. 3. And 4. And then to finish up this last petal of the project, chain 4 and slip stitch. And that way, your tail, once you cut your yarn and pull out your loop, your tail is going to be nice and right where you want it to be at the center, so it makes sewing in your ends that much easier. Alrighty. And there you go. Alrighty, my dears, so that concludes today's tutorial. I really hope you liked it. I love how this looks. Absolutely. So all you need to do is just keep repeating rows 3 and 4 as much as you want until your desired size, then do row 5 down the side, and you are good to go. I also love how this piece creates its own nice edging. And it's a continuous join as you go sort of thing, so I think it's a win-win all around, quite frankly. And you don't have a ton of ends to sew in, which is a huge bonus. So, listen, everybody, I want to thank you very much for watching today. If you liked today's video, please give a little thumbs up button down below. Hit subscribe for more because I do try to post often, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narration or cooking or origami, or of course my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, where I do video game playthrough and commentary. A lot of fun. Would love to see you there. And you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.